Hi Christine, this is Justin Cothran, and this is going to be my final for 7336 Pop Culture and Education. Thanks for your flexibility. I enjoy being able to do a screencast for you. So this is what I've done. I've compiled a list of resources for HISD teachers in the district because I am a TDS, I'm an instructional coach for secondary uh, teachers in the classroom. So I went through the course and I paid careful attention to the resources that I would actually want to show the teachers, walk them through, and I would actually like them to use or consider in the classroom with regard to pop culture and social studies. Okay, if you notice, the list is not that long. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 resources. Um, Teachers are human too, and I know that if you give them too many resources, they're less likely to pick something and try it. So what I did was really narrowed the field to the resources I thought were germane and would have some good impact on instructional practices. I also sort of divided them into categories. I've got pop culture, political pop, sorry. I've got political cartoons as pop culture and current events, comics, popularizing the past, advertising, and of course my personal favorite, pop culture as propaganda. So my goal of this particular resource is that the teachers will actually pick one of these resources and then use it in their classroom as an educational supplement or educational aid in the classroom to enhance their teaching practices. Okay. Um, my entry with this is I would like to start off with the National Council for Social Studies. I selected the article that talks about the need for media literacy. This was the Tim Lay article that we read at the first of the class. And what I would do is I would use this in a PLC meeting with the teachers, have them read it, have them discuss it, and then have them point out some very powerful points that so that they would buy into this to the need for pop culture teaching in their classroom if they don't already agree to it. Because this article points out many powerful things, such as most children born in the millennial age are of the digital age, but they really don't quite understand it. And it's very important that social studies teachers teach them how to make sense of the digital world that they live in, and how to disseminate point of view, and how to discern fact from fiction. And this article is short, succinct, and really brings out the purpose and the need for that. So that's what I would start with. Okay, I'm going to have to close some windows here. All right, just going down the list. Um, I think the most powerful tool and the easiest for them to pick up would be political cartoons as pop culture, because political cartoons are pretty um, self-explanatory to a lot of social studies teachers. So here's a resource I like. This is from Library of Congress. And most of the resources I'm going to use in this particular um, final are going to focus on U.S. history because that's our testable subject. So that's not going to be my focus. All right, political cartoons in U.S. history. This is a primary source guide, but this clickable resource has thousands upon thousands of political cartoons for them to use that could be dropped into any particular lesson. What I would like them to focus on is that, and to consider teaching, is that political cartoons are simply a pop culture snapshot from that time period. Let's see if we can pull one up. Like here is one on child labor. Pretty self-explanatory. But this resource, there we go, sorry. This resource has tons of primary source documents that could be taught with the pop culture slant and would give them a nice inroad into the classroom. Let's look at another one. This one is actually incorporating political cartoons in the classroom. It has exemplars, but what I really like about it is it has procedures. If the teacher lacks the ability or the know-how to quite do this, It gives step-by-step procedures on how they could implement using political cartoons in the classroom to analyze point of view, understand the message, and relate and draw references. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, moving right along. Pop culture's political events. This one is extremely powerful. This one shows a direct correlation between political cartoons and what's happening in the here and now. This one is an Amazon site, and basically they take any idea of the day, like drone strikes, and they show how you can turn it into a lesson for the classroom. Come on, load. There we go. This cartoons for the classroom. Basically, it shows resources, reading between the lines, political talking points. It takes a political point of the day and turns it into a pop culture issue that the students have to analyze. Like, for instance, this one is making fun of the fact that Americans are very lighthearted and laissez-faire about drone strikes around the world. Of course, this is just one of many. So what this does is this creates a context, and I just closed out my page, sorry. This creates a context for, here we go, this is what I wanted to show. For pop culture in the classroom, because basically history is pop culture, but it's pop culture through time. And this would be a great resource for teachers to use that and show that to their students in the classroom. There's other topics here. Is it okay to use religious images, um, cartoons and Halloween? I should click the other one. I wanted to do the mentally ill and guns, but I clicked on this one by mistake. Political correctness, how the Native Americans feel about being used to sell things such as entertainment and sports. All right, moving right along. Next one, I just call this popularizing the past, because students sometimes do not think of the past as being alive with people who had prejudice and feelings and thoughts and emotions. And this website does a really great job of that if it will come up. Basically, this has hundreds of lessons that are preloaded. They're document based, thinking like a historian. Come on. Gotta love technology. You click on the bank, and you've got a preset list of lessons all ready to go. What I like is they do add a pop culture element to these. Come on, load. Gotta be patient. Or maybe not. Just go to your happy place. It'll be right. Ah, here we go. This website does a great job of showing visuals, background information, stories. So it does have a pop culture type feel. Basically, it does a really good job of bringing the people, the situation, and the events that took place in that time period to life. And you've got hundreds, I think there are 95 U.S. history lessons alone in that section. Okay. I skipped one. Sorry. Comics. Comics was difficult. It was a very popular theme in our classroom, but I thought some of our topics were a little off. I thought sometimes that the people who did it really brought their own personal viewpoints to the classroom with comics, and that's okay, because I do think comics have a place in the classroom. This website here, which is social studies, it's a social studies group for teachers. It's an online resource. It's called Comics in the Classroom from Promethean Planet. And why I like it is it gives you very germane, hands-on, practical ideas on how to use comics in the classroom. This one actually shows you, like this week's topic is makebelieve.com, makebelievecomics.com, help if I could read, where students actually create a comic strip based on whatever theme you want them to use. So this does show that comics do have a good place in teaching history. All right. Now, this one is from Meredith and myself, so I'm only going to do one. This is advertising, and I think the advertising is probably the purest pop culture form of all, because advertising is a snapshot of what people think, believe, and want from a particular time period. And this is from Duke University, and it's a huge resource of advertising, basically starting from the 1840s up to modern times. So teachers could go here, they could pull up any resource they wanted from the time period, such as Camel cigarettes, and it gives them resources that could be dropped into the lesson. But once again, it's a thinking piece. It gets students to think about why Americans wanted, thought, believed things of this particular time period, and why companies thought Americans would want things from that time period. I think advertising is a fascinating pop culture piece that can be dropped into any time frame. All right, and last but certainly not least, my personal all-time favorite would be propaganda. This one I found on my own. This didn't come from the classroom, but this is propaganda. This is a website for teachers. It's basically all about propaganda from World War One and World War Two. Why I really like it is it's all things in one place at one time. This one is a definition of what propaganda is, um, true false connections, games, explanations, and then of course you've got um, examples, and there's thousands of them just to go through. So this is all one place at one time because I think on par with political cartoons, propaganda is probably what teachers would feel most comfortable with. And this is art and pop culture in its purest form. This is trying to persuade the public um, using their emotions and through entertainment on okay, that's no one going. Because we talked about this in class, if you entertain people, you can soften the blow. And I think propaganda, go away, sorry, is a great way to show pop culture in the classroom. I don't want advertisements, I want the actual poster. All right, we'll just pretend, never mind. So there it is. All right, I'm sure you're thoroughly amused. If you've made it this far, I apologize for the overall quality of this. I have the flu. I'm heavily medicated, and I'm trying to get this done so that I don't miss the deadline. But this is what I gleaned from the course. These are the resources that I would actually show to an HISD teacher, and I do plan on using these next semester in the instructional coach capacity. I appreciate your time. I really greatly enjoyed the class, and I look forward to working with you again in the future. Thank you.